Bada-bee, bada-boo. Just trying the introduction of my favorite podcaster. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. This is the second part of our Code of Ethics. And now for professional teachers, and now we are in the Code of Ethics for professional teachers' relationship with the internal stakeholders. So for this one, I want you to have, for your activity, of course, I want you to put a copy, same goes, a copy of Article 8, the teacher and the learners, Section 1, Section 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, until Section 9. Article 5, the teacher and the teaching community. And Article 6, the teacher and the higher authorities in the Philippines. And then muna tayo for this one. So until that, please have a copy, print it out, and put it on your notebook, or you can write it down. It's up to you. So put all of the sections there, because those things are the stakeholders of internal stakeholders. Before we dig in for this, I want to ask you these questions. What is your wish also? This would be the what number? The seven questions for this one. How do you want your teacher to be? What are your wishes for your teacher? And you can write it down on your notebook. So 2 to 3 sentences, it's okay. By the way, for this one, aside from you could also put, instead of pictures, instead of sentence, you could also just draw it down, write down, or maybe you could just get a pictures and then explain. So it's up to you. But you know what, my dear? One of the things, when I was in high school, actually, let's say, during elementary days, I wasn't a favorite of my teachers. Maybe there are some teachers that likes me, but I'm not actually. Then I'm just an average student. I'm not the kind of student who is like my classmates, who is a dancer, who's a singer. I cannot sing when I was in elementary, and there was a time that I auditioned. Well, I was part of the choir for elementary and high school, but not totally. No, I could sing when I was in elementary. But now, I could sing. I think. I think. I could sing, but not well. Well, makapal lang yung mukha ko. So, when you give me a microphone, I will sing. Okay. Now, I wasn't a favorite during that time. I was not a favorite when I was in high school. Well, I think the reason why my teachers talked to me, because I was the daughter of my mom, who is currently the dean of the College of Nursing by that time. But going back, I was actually very emotional, because I think it's my fault, because I have a boyfriend and my boyfriend keeps on telling me not to go there, not to participate, not to be friends with anyone but him. But my boyfriend is a year older than me. I mean, a higher year older than me. And I'm not sorry. I was very sleepy, but we need to go on, no? During the time, I was not a favorite of anyone. So as I told, I don't join contests, because my boyfriend didn't allow me to. But there was a time that I cannot talk to anyone because I'm afraid. I don't know. I want to share something, but I cannot share. I think as a person, you need to have a very, very strong personality in order to share this stuff, which at that time, I don't have that kind of personality. And I don't have the kind of teachers that you guys have before, that is willing to listen even if it's tiring. And then I realized, I told to myself, okay, I want to be the kind of teacher that I want myself to be, to have back then. I want to have a teacher who doesn't look at the students only. Although my problem right now is it's hard for me to memorize the names of my students. So I try my best, but actually I cannot memorize it. But even if I can't memorize the names, I keep on talking to them. I keep on talking and talking and talking to my students until I memorize their names. Whenever I already know the names of these students, I shift and look for other members of the class. I try my best to go to those wallflowers that was not that feels that was not existing during the time, because when I was younger, it seems that I wasn't existing. When I was in high school, I saw my book, I think Paraklatan or journal. I no, it's a yearbook, and that includes the picture, your picture, about the events. So when I was looking at I was looking for my picture. There, of course, I have one. One picture of that is um uh well, the one in the graduation photo. And after that, I have a tiny, 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 tiny picture, which I can barely recognize myself. At that moment, I realized, and that's pandemic. I saw that. I just go back and said, "Did I even exist?" That's one of my question. Did I even exist in the hearts of these people? Did I even exist? There was a time that I could fail. I didn't have, and maybe I said to myself that maybe it is because I didn't participate in different activities. But why would I participate with this kind of activities? My teacher only wants those people, those who's already beautiful, those student who is already talkative, those student who already was known, you know, and I was just nobody. So, and that's the reason why I become a teacher. So, aside from, I think it's easy because I love reporting, is one of the reason that I am teaching. Well, reporting is because just the reason why I want to become an English teacher. But one of my driving forces is I want to become the teacher that I want to have when I was studying, because maybe if I have this kind of teacher that although it's hard, it's worthwhile. I want to have creative activities. I want to have creative projects, because when I was in college, the teachers that gave us difficult projects are those who made me understand the lesson even more. Uh, the teacher who allowed us to help the first time I shot a movie. It's so nice. I actually enjoyed editing videos. Brochure, that's my favorite as well. So there was actually a project of mine which I interviewed people, a people as in that is creating fireworks, sining sa paputok. So also I made brochure, I made magazines, I made theater arts. Well, that time podcast is not, it's not an option because no one does podcasts during my time. I perform, I sing a song, because we may not have theater arts, but the speech and stage arts back in our time is we will prepare a production, but not a story, just a production which the whole class will sing, dance. And when I started singing, one of my favorite teachers, Mamsi, when I started singing in front of the whole college, And they clap and they said, "Oh, you can sing. You're different. Who is that person?" That was the time that I felt that I was seen. And that was the time that I said, "Okay, I was seen. People now know me." And my confidence shoot up, as in. And that's maybe the reason why I keep on pushing and pushing my students to join these activities, join SG, join Dambana, because well, when I was in a news, in a publication, in college publication, it's really fun. Well, I don't like writing. I have many rejections for my articles, because back then we don't post. We really print out, print. But it's fun. It's actually very fun. I because I was seen when I was in college. I think second year, I felt alive. I felt that okay, it's it's hard because it's too much when it comes to financial. It's too much because of the preparation. But when I perform, everything fits perfectly. That's why starting in college, starting that moment, I accepted different hosting jobs. And I was even offered by. Actually, I was the president of our publication. It's not EIC, but president, because we have different bylaws. And I was offered to run for senator for a party. And I said, wow, they saw that I can do it. So they think that I could do it. Oh my God. So many praises. And that's the kind of teacher that I want. And that's what I'm doing this to you. Because I want you to be seen. I keep on looking at you. And I hope that you could feel it. I know that maybe sometimes I'm a little bit harsh. I know that sometimes I'm too much. But that's my. I keep on pushing you. I keep on making this podcast. I keep on exposing you to different people so that you could see at the end of the day, you could have, oh, I can do this. I can interview people because I've already done that when I was in first year. I did that during Ma'am Diane's time. During when I was in second year, I already researched. I already performed. Especially, actually, my English students, English major, the third English 3A. Because I keep on exposing them. I know for them, it's hard. And it's hard to the point that some of them might felt that it's too much. But after everything that they did, I am very sure that they will not be my problem when it comes to demonstration teaching. Because their exposure is too much. And whenever you ask any of them, oh, you do this, there's a possibility that they will really do it. They will perform. It's easier for them. It's easy to ask them because they already did this. And sometimes experience is really our best teacher. What I did as a teacher is I give them the exposure that they need. Some of them grab it, they became good, and some, of course, still are diamonds that needs to be cut. But time will help them, and experience will help them. So that's the kind of teacher that I want to be. And that's the kind of teacher that I wish I have when I was studying. And now, for our article 8, the teacher and the learners. The first section, teacher has the right and duty to determine the academic marks and the promotion of learners in the subjects they handle. Now, this actually is as a teacher, we are, of course, our grades we could determine if we will allow this student, especially the conditional student, to pass. we have the right to say, I'm sorry, but his grades is very, very low. And I want to fail this student because he or she really deserves it. And you have the right to do that. A teacher shall recognize the interests and welfare of learners are his first and foremost concern, and shall handle each learner justly and impartially. My dear students, as much as possible, we must not have favoritism. I know that we have, but it should not be very visible. It is true that favoritism is common. It is common because we favor some students because of some things. For instance, it's not usually the material stuff, but because they are also giving us an easier time compared to some students who gives us a very hard time. Or sometimes some parents are very hard to be with. So, okay, sige, kakaloka yung parent mo kasi sobrang sakit sa ulo. So, sometimes we put that way. But as much as possible, it's not the obvious. Sometimes looks are also very important. There are sometimes when the student is very cute, especially during elementary students, they're so cute. I remember there was a student that is so chubby. I think his name is Caleb. And I think not just all teachers loves him, also his classmates. I don't know if how is he right now, but he is so cute. It's like you are hugging a teddy bear because he's chubby, his cheeks and he's so cute, he's so white. And every time he come to me and teacher, Dayan, ganyan. Okay, so he's a guy, but he doesn't it's very cute. So, okay, no worries. Ayan. And there's also a student who just want to keep on telling you one of my stories in English is there was a student that I don't hate this student, but she's a little bit annoying, I think. But this person is just a kid. So it's, this person is just doing kid stuff. But of course, now it's funny. But of course, when you were a teacher, if you're dealing with many students, it's not. There was a time that this kid is, he's very small, and then I told them. I already told this to I think some of my students. I already share this, and one of the best stories that I have with this kid is I gave him Christmas balls because I can't think of anything to do with this section. I want to have peace. They are my problems. I am their teacher only for 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. And for me, it feels like 2 hours. I feel, oh my God, it's just 30 minutes, but the time is very, very, very slow. So I've already finished the book and it's Christmas time, and I said, okay class, since it's Christmas, let's give Christmas ball. I give you 5 Christmas balls and give this to the person that you want to forgive. And I was thinking, okay, this is a good thing. It's like in high school, you give this thing to the person that you hate, and then you will cry. So I was expecting that they will cry. Oh, but there are some who cries. They hug. I'm sorry, like that. But now this kid gave me a Christmas ball. He said, huh? Why me? So I said that. And she said, because teacher, napakan mo ko. Sabi niya gano'n. So, I was laughing. Alright, it's fine. And then she received 5. Okay. So, buti nga sa kanya. But sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you will also have kids that, this is high school. And I don't know if it's annoying. Actually, I was not, when it comes to high school, there's a very, very minimum chance of me being annoyed. I was just laughing. Or maybe I could say that I am mad just by looking. But actually I was waiting to go to I was waiting to dismissal time, and I was waiting for okay, I want to go to the faculty room because I want to share what happened, like that. So these things, and sometimes these students will be favored, but sometimes it's not. But as much as possible, it should not be seen. Next is A teacher shall not accept favors or gifts from the learners, the parents, or other in their behalf of exchange for requested concession, especially if underserved. For example, this is already section 4. I forgot the section 3, but we'll go back. So section 4 is not receiving gifts. You're not allowed to receive gifts. No. Especially, sometimes I think for occasions, it's okay. But because for instance, they will give you this so that you could give to adjust your grades. So that's a no. Next is, under no circumstances shall teacher be prejudiced or discriminatory against any learner. I will share you this story. This is not mine. So, this is from a student. This is just a story of my student. There was a selection of, this is college, selection of cooperating teachers, like that. And cooperating teachers this teacher was selecting a student, looking for a student. So, this teacher told the practice teacher that, alam mo ba kung ba't kita pinili? And then the student said, hindi po, bakit po? And then the teacher said, kasi maitim ka, hindi ka nila pipiliin, kaya pinili na kita. So, I know, my God, please don't be like that. So, the color, this is just color, no? This is very mababaw, but there are also other things na we need to think. Maybe the minority, we should not be discriminating them just because we have different beliefs, and especially giving these people hard time. Alright? So teachers shall base their evaluation of the learner's work on merit, quality of academic performance. So my dear students, in this section 6, you need to give them merit based on their academic performance and not because you just like them. Like, okay, so I give you academic performance because you bought me a Coach bag. Okay, I'll give you this. Okay, if the price is right, I will give you merit. But if not, no. So you're not allowed to do such thing. Although it happens, but it should not be allowed. Section 7, in situation where mutual attraction and shall. This is your favorite, I think. Section 7, in a situation where mutual attraction and subsequent love develop between the teacher and learner, the teacher shall exercise utmost professional discretion to avoid scandal, gossip, and preferential treatment of the learner. You know, this one, sometimes it really happens. Many times it happens that you fall in love with your student. But don't forget that the problem is the gossips. I know you will say, wala akong pakialam as long as we're together. Like that. But it's not like that, because what will happen to the student? He or she will be the talk of the town. Imagine, whatever he or she does, they will think, oh, it's not because he or she is good, but because kayo kasi ni Ma'am Sel. Like that. They will not understand. So all of the good things, if they will get a high grade, it's not because they're good, but because you are lovers. It's not good. So you should be professional and should not fall in love, because falling in love is normal. Falling in love is, I could say, happens, but you're not supposed to fall in love. And as much as possible, do not allow yourself to be near temptation. Okay? So do not be near temptation. Next is section 8. A teacher shall not inflict corporal punishments on offending learners, nor make deductions from their scholastic ratings as a punishment for acts which are clearly not manifestations of full scholarship. Now, for section 8, do not do not think na corporal punishment. Okay, you didn't do your activity, so squat. Okay, you didn't do your activity, so I will punch you in the face, like that. So you're not allowed to. Or maybe, hay nako, nainis ako, ang daldal nyo, lahat kayo, -20 sa exam. Ilang items sa exam? 25. Okay. Tapos minaliba yung bata. Alright? So, you're not allowed to do so. Okay? Section 9. The teacher shall ensure that the conditions contribute to the maximum development of learners are adequate and shall extend needed assistance in preventing or solving the learner's problems or difficulties. Now, for the section 9, as much as possible, we maximize stuff. It's we could say that as a teacher, we don't have the luxury of everything. Not all of us could buy printer. Not all of us could buy this stuff. But that doesn't mean we will stop there. It means that we could do something else. We could help our students by doing something else as well. Okay? So it's not just that. So that's the end of our section. Section number 8. And I hope that you understand this. And now, for the next question for our discussion for the podcast thingy, number 8 is this one. Thus, the Code of Ethics for professional teachers prohibit a teacher and student to fall in love with each other? Again, number 8. Does the Code of Ethics for professional teachers prohibit a teacher and student to fall in love with each other? Yes or no? And why? Okay, so just kidding. So yes and no, and I want you to write down 2 to 3 sentences for the explanation of this one. You can go to references or your understanding. It's already in the section. What section is that? Next, number 9. What should be the first and foremost concern of the professional teacher? What should be the first and foremost concern of the professional teacher? What do you think? And want you to explain this. And now, we are already in the Article 5, the teacher and the teaching community. Now, every kid needs a champion, no? We keep on telling that. And I'm sorry, it's wrong. Alright, so the teaching community pala tayo. Sorry po for that. As a teacher, I keep on telling you that you need to it's good to still be friends with your college friends, because your college friends will look at this. Your college friends will understand you. Your college friends are, well, number 1, the same majors, isn't it? Compared to other majors that you will be with, because in junior high school, especially in private, you were only allowed to have 1. So this one, you will be allowed to your college students, your college friends should be the same major. Kasi in a school, especially in private school, they will have a different, for instance, it's only small, so 1 math, 1 English, 1 Filipino, and so on, and you will teach many classes. And sometimes it's nice to be with someone in the same major. And sometimes it's also nice to be with different people. Seminars are actually good for that. And it's fun because seminars help us to meet as a group. How do we have this one? How do we solve this issue? Some of you have problems in this type of activity, so this is what we do. So for instance, I think there was a group on Facebook, in many groups on Facebook, especially right now, in which you will be allowed to go together and attend seminar, go together and have an awards night, go together and share your insights about a certain issue that all of you feel, maybe for your major or maybe for the education itself. For example, I attended a seminar, and one of the things that we need to understand and that we deal is about students who during this is I think during the quarantine, during online classes. So we've been with different colleagues. Okay, so a group in which they will share their expertise and experience and their best practices on how they deal with this pandemic thing. They will share their applications that they are using, not just on YouTube, but they will share it. Oh, this is what I found. This is how I do it. This is and you can ask. You can ask them, oh, how do you do this? Okay, so I will do that also in my class. And because of the pandemic, it's not anymore about, it's more international. So we've been talking to different other country as well. And they said, in our country, this is what we do. And in America, this is what we do. In India, this is what we do. So it's nice because it feels like it's very refreshing because, oh, okay, this is what you do in Canada. I will do this also in my class. I think this is good also in my class. That's why, as you can see, if you will listen to me, I am indifferent, always indifferent. We keep on making different activities, different projects, because I am attending different seminars and I want to think, oh, okay, that's also nice. I think my students will also like it and whatsoever and whatsoever. So I keep on changing and changing up. Because teaching for me is not just one go. It is a different every single time. And some subjects require these things and so on and so on and so forth. Right, that's one. And now, the teacher and the teaching community. So we have different sections. We have until section 7. For the section 1, teachers shall at all times be imbued with the spirit of professional loyalty, mutual confidence, and faith in one another, self-sacrifice for common good, and full cooperation with colleagues. Being with colleagues is also cooperating with colleagues is very important because you can maximize. You can sit down, and this is also nice because you could just sit down with your colleagues and then they will share. Okay, this is what you do. We could do this. For science and math, we could do this. Or maybe in English, this is what we do in English classes. Right now, we have a group in English, us English teachers. So it consists of me, Ma'am Christy, Ma'am Joy Yambao, Ma'am Chad, but Ma'am Chad is not around anymore. She's in for main campus. Sir Jude, I think we're just 4. I think we're 4. So, Ma'am Christy, me, Sir Jude. And Sir Macjo. I forgot. And Sir Macjo. Sir Macjo, Sir Jude, me, Ma'am Christy, and Ma'am Joy. So, the 5 of us are your English teachers. And sometimes, and I think sometimes right now, we have one problem. And I think it's not just my problem, but problem is some students are not, they cannot speak, some students sometimes they don't know how to write a lesson plan. So one of the things that we could do is we could gather and we could say, some of us cannot write the students cannot write lesson plan. How can we integrate this to your, and then we will talk and talk and talk. This is what we could do, and that's better because we could collaborate. Actually, we're doing that before, but right now, I think we're very busy with very, very many things, such as accreditation. Oh my God, it's so tiring. And I hate it, but accreditation is very important because it will give us, not just the students, but us recognition, and the students will benefit from it. But right now, you're not benefiting from it because we cannot attend classes because of this stuff. So that's it. Next, number 2 is the teacher. Section 2 is The teacher is not entitled to claim for work not of his own, and shall give due credit for the work which may be used. Of course, we are not allowed to grab the work, but it happens. This happened so many times. There was even a time, I think this is from Bulsu, that a teacher presented this activity, this research. And this teacher said that it is the work. It is my work. But the next question is, wait, you're a teacher from this department and your research is about a different research, a research that is not in your major, a different research that is not in your field of expertise. And then the next is they one of the checkers found that the research of the teacher that this teacher claims that that is his research is also the panel of the students. Imagine a panel of the students who presented this research. So the teacher credit grab the students' works. It's not good. You cannot do that to your students. Even if you are the advisor, you are not allowed to do that. You are not allowed to grab their work and tell that it's your own. Even if you will upload it, you must give credit to your students. Even pictures, you need to put it in the references. And you cannot just, okay, this is me, I am the one who do this and whatsoever. You're not allowed to do that. Next is section number 3. Before leaving the position, a teacher shall organize and leave of his successor such records and other data as necessary to carry on the work. When you leave, that's why we have short may notice tayo. We cannot say, I'm sorry, I will leave, goodbye. No. We need to say, okay, we will leave and I will endorse all of the paperworks to so there would be continuity. That is the proper way of living. You cannot just leave and have a whole absence without leave. Is that a whole absence without any leave? A file leave? Basta like that. Because I didn't done anything like that before. So you will just leave. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to be in this school, so goodbye. And then you left without giving the records. And you even for instance, you're an advisor and then you left and then you didn't give the permanent records of the students. That's why the junior high school students who is under your care will start from scratch. It's not good. Everything must be properly endorsed, especially if you're handling major tasks. Section 4. A teacher shall hold inviolate all confidential information concerning associates and the school, and shall not divulge to anyone documents which have not been officially released or remove records from files without official permission. So back then, when I resigned to my previous school, I gave everything that I have, all the records, and then after finishing everything, I was removed. My access was removed, and it was transferred to other thing, which is okay, and which is of course what will happen. I cannot access everything, and also I actually left my group chat because I don't want to be part of it, because that's internal. Even group chats, we say permission to leave because I am not part of this organization anymore, and so on, so on. So that's one. Next is it shall be responsibility of every teacher to seek correctives of what may appear to be unprofessional and ethical conduct of any associate. Now, I know that right now we always say, wala kayong pake, this is how I look, this is how. But sometimes we need to accept criticism, especially for our teaching, and you are still a student. There was a student of mine who was corrected by their creative teacher, cooperating teacher, and then this student doesn't want to be corrected. That's a no-no. Okay? So sometimes you need to accept and you need to understand that you need to be corrected and you're not always right, and you're there because you need to be corrected because you are not yet a full-fledged licensed teacher. And if you are a full-fledged licensed teacher, even if you are the dean of a campus, even if you are the vice president, the secretary, I mean, executive secretary, or president, and even for the Philippines, you need to know sometimes you are wrong because you're human being and you're prone to errors as well. And you need to accept, okay, that you may or may not be wrong, but be an open-minded person for that. A teacher may submit to the proper authorities any justifiable criticism against associate, preferably in writing, without violate any right of the individual concerned. So when we can submit this as evidences. Number 7, teacher may apply for a vacant position in which he is qualified, provided that he respects the system. So, for instance, there's we could apply for a vacant position. For instance, teacher 3, teacher 1 ka, and then you saw vacant position, the teacher 3, you can apply for that. In college, we also do that. Usually, when someone retires, their position will be open. Before, it's not. In Bulsu, we have this term that basag. We binabasag, not the trip, but basag the item. For instance, you retired as associate 5, so that is one step before you become a professor. So when you become associate 5, they will some of them, they will basag it, and it will be for different instructor 1 position or associate professor, but not associate 5. But right now it's different. If you retire associate 5, your item will be vacant, and you can apply anyone from this one is because of the civil service. So anyone, even if you're outside the university, you can apply. Also, the same with DepEd. Okay. So now we're done with this one. And for your next question, number 10. Okay, so we already have 10 questions. Okay, number 10. Students reported to you about a teacher who has made it a habit to collect money for quizzes that never were mimeographed or photocopied. The very reason for money collection. What is the ethical for you to do? Again, the students reported to you about a teacher who has made it a habit to collect money for quizzes that never were mimeographed or photocopied, to the very reason for money collection. What is ethical for you to do as their teacher? And last one, number 11 for this episode. The school was preparing for a national choral competition. What should be the response of the teaching community? Number 11. The school was preparing for a national choral competition. What should be the response of the teaching community? Okay, so I hope that you are, it's okay if you will stop. And this is a good thing about this podcast time is you can stop. Now, let's have the second one, the next internal, the next hired stakeholders, the teacher and the higher authorities in the Philippines. Okay. Now, this is it. One of the things that you need to review for your licensure examination, which I didn't review back then, was who are the higher authorities in the Philippines, and especially in DepEd. So right now, we know the DepEd Secretary is the Vice President of the Philippines, Sara Duterte. And I know that some of us, until now, have different political rights. But, still need to respect them. And although I know some public school teachers, because they do not like Sara Duterte, they resigned. They resigned from the position because they really can't handle how she does this. Okay, so she can see how she does things in her way. Of course, we cannot please everyone. We cannot please everybody. It's part of it's a normal thing. We cannot please everybody, but that's it. Okay. Now, for the section 1, one of the things that you need to do is a teacher shall make it his duty to make an honest effort to understand and support the legitimate policies of the school and the administration regardless of the professional feeling or private opinion, and shall faithfully carry them out. One of the things that we need is we can remember about this is just although it's simple, but it's a tradition, and we know that it's very important to students. It's the designs of the classroom. Designs of a classroom is very important, and we have it's also a tradition in which every year teachers will go out and redecorate their classroom, put cute colors, especially if you're from elementary or preschool, put designs, go to Pinterest, and make your classroom the most beautiful classroom, because you want the learners to go there and, wow, this is so nice. But it was mandated by the president to remove unnecessary things, and it was not considered necessary. That's why one of the things that was removed are the designs. For us, academic designs is very important, but not for this. Wait a minute.
Alright, so I'm back again. Okay, sorry for the interruption. And this is a different day, different day from that. So I just resume my my recording for you guys. Now let's go back. A while ago I was talking about the designs. And the designs, yes, it's really important for me. Well, for me as a teacher, designs help the students to I think it helps my students to welcome it welcomes my students in the classroom. Now, as a teacher, I know that one of the things that my students would look forward is how will the first day start. Start the first day with what? Beautiful designs, beautiful colors, bright colors, and different themes. And when I was in junior high school, I am really not a good designer. There was a time that one of my students said that, "Ma'am, bakit ganon? Sa atin yung pinakapangit na design." And I was, oh, I'm sorry, because I am not really a good designer, but I think it would be better if I started my day with the different designs in my classroom. I think you will study this in teaching technologies, or when I was in high school and college, I think this is EdTech, that everything in the classroom is very important. And this is one of our goals, especially if this is not, you want to become a teacher, you really want to become a teacher, and you were envisioning your classroom to have these things. You are very excited to design these things. You will look for different materials, put curtains, put different pictures. Ayan. So those things are very essential. Oh, this one's good. I bought an Nescafe. I think Rob Black. I think that's nice. Now, section 2. A teacher shall not make any false accusation or charges against superiors, especially under anonymity. However, if there are valid charges, he should present such under oath to competent authority. Now, every time, we already know that these things sometimes happen. Such as, we could feel sometimes that there's for instance, our principal is not doing the right thing. There is a corruption, and
this is the sad part because we cannot say, I think there's a corruption here in my school. I will report you to DepEd Central Office or DepEd Bulacan because I think you're doing. You cannot just say, I think. You need to have valid evidence that supports that there is a corruption. This is the sad part, but also a good part. And this is sad part because if you are really innocent and it cannot be proven, it will be easier for you to go out. Okay, so you say this is not true because it was not proven. I am innocent, and you cannot say that I am a corrupt or whatever kind of allegations that you have. But if this is the hard part, if for instance you the accused person is really corrupt, or maybe there's some molestation, or there is something that is not good and that is unruly and unlawful that he does. So it's hard because you need to have a bulletproof evidence that supports your claim. You cannot just say, and that is the reason why there are some teachers, there are some principals or others that is that is not convicted, or that was not released from their office, and that's why they're still in the position, because it's hard to give evidence. I know that there was a time there. For instance, I'll give you an example, but I will not name the place. This is just from social media. There was a teacher, just this one, There was a teacher who was viral, and because this teacher kisses a boy. I think it's a boy. Yeah, it's a boy in the video, and this video was viral. And then there are many stories that says that this is true. This happened to us. We were we were also students back then, and this teacher does this all the time. And I know it seems familiar. I know what Ma'am Dayan is talking about, but maybe you also don't know, so I will not give any details. So I will not give the school for data privacy purposes. Now, I was thinking, okay, since this person is viral and this person is did these things, maybe he will be kicked out in the office because it is not good. Many people accused him, but when you can still see this person inside of the school. All right, so you can still see this person. Why? Because no one filed a report. Because before you file the report, you should have an ironclad reason, an ironclad evidence that supports your claim. And this is the good thing of us government employees. This is why I know that we have lots of things, lots of stress, toxicness, but you cannot be easily removed from your place. You need to have a ironclad evidence before you will relieve. That's the good thing about being in the government. It's hard, but it's really a job that you can say you could retire from it. So maybe you just don't need to make loans and loans and loans so that your pension will be better, and you just need to study or apply for ranking so that you will have a high position right after you retire. I don't know if you're familiar in SSS. I'm sorry for this, but I think it's also helpful. Why some of the questions that you will think? Why do some teachers want to be in public school? Now, this is the reason. Once they're inside a public school, even if they are the worst teachers, as long as no one files, as long as there's no authorities that made or court, there's no court hearing and whatsoever, this person will not be relieved. And that's the reason why sometimes, for instance, only big events, especially if the media is already here, like rape, like that, killing, and sometimes even if you are killed, as long as you are not pinpoint, there's no hard evidence that tells that it is you who killed this person, or it is you who causes this mental illness for this person, you will not be evicted in the school. You may be transferred to a different school and you can continue doing what you're doing. That's the sad part. But as for the person, you will have, it's really good because you will retire with this money that you have. As long as you don't have loans or utangs, it's okay. So then, after this, in GSIS, for instance, I retired in, for example, I am Associate Professor 5. Or I think in DepEd, let's have Teacher 5, Teacher 3. Okay, or Master Teacher. Let's say with the Master Teacher. I have retired as a Master Teacher. Now, my pension would be almost the same as my salary when I was a Master Teacher. For instance, I rendered it for 3 years or more than 3 years. I am a Master Teacher for 3 years. And my salary would be my pension as well when I became 60 years old. For instance, I said, okay, I don't want to be part of this. I want to travel the world. So I will retire at 60. I'll not end up in 65. I don't like 65 because I just want to enjoy my life as long as I can walk, I can talk, I can run, and whatsoever. So that one. And as a GSIS, you can still have it. No tax. Imagine. That is the reason why. Imagine your teachers here in Bulsu, especially those who have the big names such as University Professor, Dr. Chody Season Address, our current president, and also Dr. Cecilia Esnavacero Gascon, our president last time. Both of them 170,000, I think, and counting because they are not yet retired. And it's every year there's some sort of year that it will raise and raise and raise. And since they are, I think, university president for more than 3 years, especially Dr. Gascon, because she this title is with her even before she was a university president. The university professor title was already with her. It is a lateral transfer. That's why if she will retire, and for instance, I think it's not just 100,000, 170. I think it's almost 200,000. So imagine 200,000 as your pension. Isn't it? It's nice, isn't it? You'll really think, oh my God, I love this pension. But before you got this 200,000 pension, before even become a university professor, you need to study. You need to do different activities. You need to do extension service. You need to do research. You need to finish your study. You need to become a doctor. Because if you're not a doctor, you cannot be a professor. You need to produce books, research, international. You need to attend to seminars and many, many, many more. Those are the different things that you need to produce before you enjoy the retirement. And that's the reason why some just want to become an instructor 1. Right now, I am an instructor 1. And I enjoy it. It's okay. The salary is okay. I'm not saying it's not good, but it's okay. Because it's not too low. When I think more than, I think, I'll just give you a rough estimate. More than 28. Okay, so more than 28. 29 talaga siya. Okay, nasa 29,000. Because you could check the salary grade 12 step 1. Currently 12 step 1. But if after the ranking, I think it will increase. So you will know naman. It's searchable. So you can just check. For instance, you saw that in the letter, you saw that, oh, sir, for example, for BSed English, you just check the rank of service and ma'am Bise. But it is published. Actually, it's published. And then you check, what is the salary grade of this? Okay, so for science, check the salary grade of Dr. Parabrab. Okay, yes, you check that. For Sir Raul, yes, you could also check. Okay, for BPED. So you could check there. You check what number. Okay, associate professor. What is associate professor? So you check. And you could also check the university professor so that you could see. Okay, so you can check it online. What is the salary of Dr. Jody C. San Andres and Dr. Cecilia S. Navasero Gascon right now? You check university professor salary. Oh, you will see that. Alright? So now, going back through this one. Section number 3, a teacher shall transact all official business through channels except when special condition warrant a different procedure, such as when reforms are advocated but are opposed by the immediate supervisor, in which case the teacher shall appeal directly to appropriate higher authority. So, there are different channels that we require. Of course, for the transactions, we go to different offices. There is a specific person for this transaction, and messenger is actually not a good thing, but sometimes I think it's still not the proper way. The proper way of going to offices is usually by letter. You will go to the office and you will check who is the dep and supervisor, or maybe who is the principal. You will write it down, and you really need to know how to write the letter. I know right now letter is so it's only for business purposes. Sometimes we would feel that I want to receive a letter, but the thing is you cannot receive the letter because it's usually the letter is for official business, and black and white is very important. Actually, the black and white always, my dear students, even with you, always have black and white, because black and white or letter will help you to. This is an evidence that you really tell something. It may not be like screenshots, but this handwritten black and white signed letter is a big thing. Okay. Next, section number 4. A teacher individually or as a part of a group has a right to seek redress against injustice and discrimination, and to extent possible shall raise his grievances with democratic processes. In doing so, he shall avoid jeopardizing the interests and welfare of learners whose right to learn must be respected. So, my dear students, injustice and discrimination also is important for the teacher. There should not be these things with him. And of course, we could not jeopardize the learner's interest as well. Alright? So, number 5, as teacher has right to invoke the principle that appointments, promotions, and transfer of teachers are made only on the basis of merit and need in the interest of the service. Sometimes, I know that many students will tell me that position. I have this. I actually saw this one before, even before, that positions are temporary. We keep on saying that positions are temporary. Our value is very important. In the sense, it's true. Positions are temporary. That is why in this part, my dear, in this direction, it's important because positions are temporary. Your attitude is more important. It is true. But let's not put a negative way for those people who are in the position. You know, right now, not just in Meneses campus, but in the whole Bulsu, and not just Bulsu, in many state university, you will see why is it these people, these young people are in the position. Usually, for instance, when I was in college, the people in position are the old ones. Sorry for the old ones, but those who are 40s, 50s. Because at 60s, usually that's the age of our president. 60s, about to retire. So it's a grand exit. So it's like in your 20s, you start your career. 30s, you start having positions, but not the big ones. But 40s, that's the time you become a vice president or a dean. And then 50s, another position. And then 60s, the last position is the dean. But right now, you will realize, wait, why is it that those people in position are those that is young? Some of you will tell, well, it's because the reason why he is in position, he or she is in position, because they want it. Actually, yes, it's true. But also, as an employee, this is my sentiments also as an employee, those who are not in the position, sometimes they are the ones who have higher rankings, and they actually do not want to be in position because they don't want to do the job. Sometimes, this is the reality, the sad reality, even in DepEd, even in other places, they are not in the position, even if they have the highest ranking, because they're not doing their job. They are there having letting the university give them big and big and big in salary, but they let those in it's either low rank or part time to do the job. It's actually not fair, because they will receive a big salary. Well, that's you can see there's also another point of view that we did this for us. The reason why we have higher salary, because we did this for us. But sometimes some teachers, some instructors have a hard time because they didn't receive any help in planning purposes, sometimes in planning, sometimes in other stuff. Those things, they do not receive anything because these people, they do not accept jobs that should be theirs. You see, it's okay. I don't want to become. I don't want to accept this position. I just want to have research, and that's the reason why research, so that they will in return they will have the bigger salary, because those people that cannot do the research because of the overflowing of tasks that was given to them is too much. And sometimes they are also handling the positions not because they want to have the positions, but because they have no choice, because they love the school, they love the campus, and whatsoever. I've been in a position as a media relations. Imagine I am from Meneses campus, and I'm handling the position in media relations office, head of print media. So aside from the position for that is 9 hours the load. So that's the reason why I don't usually stay in school all the time. I have main campus, and it's really tiring. But no one wants to accept. Usually, the media relations office, they should come from College of Arts and Letters, because they're the one who is good in media. They're the ones who could write. But sometimes they don't accept. When we were looking for other writers, contributors, and of course with the position, no one wants it. And we part-timers accept it, because not because I want to become head, but because nakakahiya. Nakakaawa naman si mama. Sige, okay, sige po. Walang tumatanggap. So hirap, it's hard for them to look for other people, and we just accepted it. Imagine they're looking for other campuses. Kaya nga, it's a little bit hard. In Meneses campus, some of us are, many of us, especially when I was a part-time instructor, I'm handling, I think, communications as well. Dean Abbott, right before, he keeps on giving me these activities to do this, Ma'am Dayan. Okay, it's fine. But then I will realize, wait a minute, why is it I always have the task? And this is not the story. This is not just my story, but this is the story of many of us. not just in Meneses, but all Bulso, and not just in Bulso, but all campuses, all colleges, and even different schools. You will see they do not want to help. So it's nice to be careful with what we usually say, and some words are different. It takes a different. I know that sometimes we say these words like, okay, it takes a credit. Titles are our positions are temporary, and you will see, okay, yeah. But there are people, okay, so side note, there are also people that even if they're not already the president, they feel that they're the president. Or they're not the head anymore. They still feel that they're head. I remember there was a person, I will not name the name of the person. This person was already, I think it's been a year or two since this person was not in the position anymore. And this person still acts that it's still the position. He is still the leader of some sort of group. He keep on pushing and letting everyone knows that he was once this leader. And imagine, even if those people, he said, I care for you. You are my support. And sometimes the current person, the current leader who is now gaining in popularity, this person will say, oh, I trained this person. Dahil sa'yo, iniwan ko ang tooth. Ganun. And this person still grabs everything. Parang, dito ako para dito sa ano na to. Pinutulungan ko kayo kasi mahal ko kayo. Mga ganun. And you will think, okay, so this is shocks. Shocks to. Kasi you're already done. And you cannot get over with the position that you have. And your attitude speaks louder. And sometimes there was also, okay, so this one is in all of them saying is a true story. And another thing for that, another thing is there was a student. I know that you don't know him already, but he is a student government president before. Student SG president siya. I think when I was in high school, but every time this president will go, yeah, I'm still in high school right time. Every time he will go and meet, or maybe every time that he is around walking in the campus, he is in barong. Okay, so every time he will meet the deans, just for he will ask something for the deans, he's wearing barong. In addition to that, he keeps on declaring that there's no classes. For instance, there's a rain, and we are waiting for the declaration that there's no classes. And during that time, we only have texts. We don't have Facebook. We don't usually use Facebook. We don't have that. So we're just waiting for the text. So someone will text, walang pasok according to president. And then we will, okay, we need to sleep. No pasok. Tapos, may pasok according to press. Ha? Sinong press? Yung pala, yung nagde-declare ng walang pasok is the president of the student government. And you cannot declare that. And you cannot declare that you don't have a class because you're not the university president. So that's it. So that's why those words, every time I hear, every time I see positions are temporary, attitudes are important, it actually strikes me in different ways. Sometimes I feel that myself is okay. So it doesn't mean because I am in a position, and that doesn't mean I like it. It's just that I don't have a choice, because I have a choice, I know, but I cannot leave the position even if I don't want to anymore, because who will handle this stuff? And if there is a person who will tell me that I can handle the media relations, print media, then I will give it to the person, because it's tiring. I'll just want to focus on teaching. But it's not easy to leave these people. That's a problem. Okay, so going back here is number 6. A teacher who accepts position assumes a contractual obligation to live up to his contract, assuming full knowledge of the employment and conditions. When you assume a position, you need to make sure that you know it. That's why before you even, this is an advice because I've been since I think I've been to 2015 eh. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh, so for 8 years I've been teaching and I've been doing some sort of activities that is not in my job description. Sometimes it's tiring because I should not be doing this because it's not my job description, but sometimes it is. But I want you to read your contracts, read your job description so that you will know, is it okay to do this? What is the content of this contract? Number 1 is how much is the compensation? Number 2, is it really what until what time should I be here? In those things, it's read. And what if I don't want to be here anymore? What is the next thing that I will do? So it's important to read your contracts. Okay, don't forget to read your contract. It is a must. Okay, so that's it, my dear students. I will not give you activity today. This voice message. So let's proceed with the next one. So goodbye.